Okay, guys, so, um, another video today. I am doing it this way. Probably from now on, I will be switching to, possibly doing things as far as, maybe you'll be able to see me, especially during live streams, in the corner. I'm going to figure out how to do all of that. This is a new kind of test run for me. As far as using this kind of a software, but I like the way YouTube videos are done like this. You guys can follow along. You can see where I'm getting the information from, things like that. So I think that this is, an awesome way to be able to do streaming and to make videos and things of that nature. So with that being said, clearly today is March 15th, 2020. I feel still like absolute crap. I'm not sure as of yet what I'm going to do. I know that I have not been coughing. I'm not having difficulty breathing. And being somebody that's a smoker, but I don't, smoke cigarettes or anything like that, but being a smoker, I'm not having any issues as far as respiratory is concerned. But I do have a fever. Normally my temperature runs quite low. So I'm usually around the 97, 96 degrees normally. So anytime it spikes up above like 98, 99, I definitely have some stuff going on. And even with Tylenol, ibuprofen, that kind of stuff, my temperature hasn't gone below 99.6 all day. And I've been religiously taking medication. So I'm very drained, very sore. Just don't feel good. But it's still important to keep up with this stuff. And I found some very interesting things that we're going to start going through here. So let's look at this one first of all. If you read it, ISIS issues advice to terrorists on coronavirus. So after years of urging its terrorists to attack major European cities, ISIS is now advising them to steer clear due to the coronavirus. Okay, come on, guys. This is just freaking ridiculous, right? This is funny. This is funny. When ISIS is saying, please don't go into Europe and create any terrorist attacks.
Even though you haven't gone to
because, you might get sick. So right here it's saying it's urging its healthy members not to enter the land of the epidemic to avoid becoming infected. Reported by the New York Post today. So, is it true? I don't know. It's still funny. Come on, let's get a little bit of a laugh out of it. The whole thing, everybody's panicking and all of that kind of stuff, but it's just funny. It's super funny. And it said up here, which I thought was really funny, advises terrorists on coronavirus to avoid Europe for jihad. So let's make sure that we're not getting sick here, guys, so that we can plan terrorist attacks for the future. That's important. Even though everybody's going to be in quarantine and everything's going to be shut down. So we won't have anybody to do terrorist attacks unless they start doing it on people's houses, because currently it's looking like they're shutting down bars and restaurants and any type of, public locations as far as that is concerned. So it's funny. So I thought that was a good chill way to start out this kind of conversation. So let's take a look at this one. Italy is reporting. Now, Italy's totally shut down. We've known this for a while. The largest daily jump. Now, if we look at this here, Italy's civil protection chief, Angelo Borelli, announced the 3,590 new Karachi cases topped the previous day's increase by nearly 100. So let's think about this. Italy is totally shut down. Everybody knows about that. This country is shut down. Shut down. You can't do anything. at all. It's just, it's shut down. Nobody's going anywhere. Everything there is shut down. So, with Italy being totally shut down, they're taking the precautions to close restaurants, close schools, close businesses, close everything. The majority of Italian residents that reside here are in their homes. And we've seen, they're dancing, singing on their little porches here outside of their houses just to keep their spirits up among this craziness. So the entire country is shut down, yet they're still seeing a spike in cases. So let's put that into perspective a little bit. They're starting to do the same things here in the United States. They're shutting everything down. I know the New York State. Okay, so Governor Cuomo came on, issued this big long thing to the president, urging him to not just put the burden on state and local governments as far as handling the coronavirus because they're going to be overwhelmed, but to help out as far as that is concerned. In my opinion, he was a little bit disrespectful towards the president as far as it went. But at the same time, yes, the burden shouldn't just be on the local and state governments. It is a lot for them to handle because they're not prepared to handle major issues such as what we're dealing with right now. Finally, I just found out that looks like New York City schools are going to be shutting down. So that's good, despite them throwing a fit about it, not wanting to shut them down. But we haven't seen, this is just the beginning. I said this yesterday, and I'm going to continue to say this. We are just at the beginning. What we're witnessing, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing right now is just the beginning of this. We've seen what it's done in Italy. We've seen what it's started to do in other countries. We've seen what it's done in China. Everything has been shut down, and everything's going to be shut down here. They're urging the shutdown of restaurants. They're urging the shutdown of bars. They want everybody to stay in their homes. They don't want people going out into public places. We're going to see spikes. We're going to see way more cases, and it's just going to continue and continue and continue. Now they're saying it could be for the rest of the school year, as far as public schools are concerned. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if there's any accuracy to that. Could it be a possibility? Yeah, this is a brand new virus from what they're saying, supposedly. And they don't know enough about it yet to be able to make a determination as to how this is all going to play out. So, expect it here. Expect it in the United States. Expect everything to get shut down. Expect you to not be able to go to a restaurant and have food. Expect you to not be able to go anywhere and do anything here within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give it, by the end of the month, we're going to see the number of cases skyrocket in the United States. And with everything that's already been shut down, it's just going to get crazy. So, on to my next point. So, on top of all of this shutting everything down, the Fed has slashed the interest rates close to pretty much zero. It's now down to 0.25 for a lot of the interest rates. And $700 billion to hand out to help assist with this. So, let's take a look at this, okay? The Federal Reserve on Sunday slashed interest rates by a full percentage point to near zero and said it would buy $700 billion in Treasury secretaries, an aggressive step to insulate the U.S. economy from the coronavirus. All right. That's great. That's fabulous. Let's do that. Let's help these people out who are having their workplaces shut down, who are having daycare centers shut down, whose kids are home from school, who can't go to work for who knows how long, who can't do any of this kind of stuff. That's great. But what are the implications going to be when this is all done and over with? Who's going to be the ones that are going to be having to make up for this? It's going to be us. It's going to be those of us who work, have paychecks, and are going to see an increase in our taxes just for them to be able to put everything back to the way that it was before all of this happened, which realistically wasn't that great. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you. When they start pulling out these numbers that have, and this isn't just with this specifically, but this is with anything. Unemployment numbers, jobs reports, anything. They start pulling out these numbers, and I'm sitting here going, bullshit. Like, it's not accurate. They manipulate stuff. They manipulate it for a reason. They manipulate it for the stock market to have gains or losses. They manipulate it for whatever the purpose may be. So we're not being told the whole truth. We're never being told the whole truth. That's always been a major part of it. But this is a huge deal. Having this happen is a huge deal. I understand, making the money for helping, with the disruption throughout America, throughout American lives. But we're going to be paying for this. We're going to be paying for hardcore when this is over. Hardcore. It's not going to be the politicians. It's not going to be Congress. It's not going to be the House. It's not going to be state representatives. It's not going to be mayors. It's not going to be any of that. That's going to be us. Hardworking Americans who are having an issue even making ends meet as it is. And with the stock market, and yes, I know that, on Friday there had been gains. Because I pay very close attention to that. I've been telling Brian for months, take your money out of the stock market. Get it out of there. And he's stubborn, and he does his own thing, and you can't, make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. What's that old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That's pretty much my daily life with him. I pay attention to this stuff. I see what's going on, and I tell him, this is probably a good idea. Let's do this. And he just wants to do what he wants to do. So, and I know that there's a lot of Americans out there who have done the same thing, and their 401ks are in stocks. And that's just going to cause massive, massive problems. Because with the way that the stock market's going, I don't care if it gained back 2,000 points on Friday. This is just continuing. This is just starting. This is just going to get worse. And we're going to see a massive drop next week. And it's going to affect a lot of people's pockets. So these people who are going to lose everything from this, essentially, are going to be the ones that are going to have to get a second job or, have somebody that is in the house that never had to work before start working because they're not going to be able to make ends meet because the taxes are going to be so high to make up for this that it's just going to result in pretty much working till you're dead, which we're already getting to that point anyway. So again, like I said, New York City to close the schools, the bars, the restaurants around the U.S. Over the Karachi. So, we're up over 3,000 here cases, and there's so many people that are infected with this, I'm sure, if it's even, a thing. But I mean, if it is, there's so many people that are infected with this that, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get a lot worse. And you don't have to believe me. You can form your own opinions on it. I'm just shooting the information out there, and, this guy, though. Oh. If the purge is ever a thing, put a plan in place to make sure that children who rely on school meals will get fed and that parents, especially healthcare workers and first responders, will be provided childcare. Okay, well, yeah, you guys are on the front lines. I get that. But what about everybody else? in New York City who's broke and can't afford anything because the taxes are freaking ridiculous in this state. It's just, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. This guy, too. It's a good day. This was interesting to me. So, de Blasio, Mr. de Blasio, said schools will close Monday and remain closed at least until April 20th. Oh, while I'm on this, here's another thing. Okay, every school in every county, New York City schools are closing on Monday. Every school's closed. Okay, closed. They don't want public gatherings. They don't want large number of people. Blah, 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 blah. What did he say? Governor Cuomo said, I don't want anything over 100, right? No people over 100. How many people are in a school? How many? This is what happens when you compartmentalize everything, okay? Well, how many people are in a school? Even if it's a small school. My son is in a class that has 24 students, and then he switches classes for 12 periods, and he always has different students. I mean, there's one or two or three that are the same, but for the vast majority, they're switching classes. He's taking math, then he's taking science, then he's taking English, then he's taking whatever. So you're switching these classes, so 24 times, let's say, 8 classes. How many students is that? That's well over 100 students, right? Every single school is closed except my son's school. Oh, no. We're going to have school Monday and Tuesday, but then we're going to close Wednesday. Even though you're not supposed to have large gatherings, even though you're not supposed to have that many people in one place at one time. So let's just take all these kids that are probably infected from their parents or their grandparents, and they don't even know they have this, and let's just put them all in the school for 2 days so that they can spread it a little bit more and then bring it home to their families. That's going to be great. And yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, that was my little rant. But the mayor here says there's a chance schools could remain closed for the rest of the school year. The whole school year. Right now they're saying at least April 20th. Rest of the school year. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, look, I didn't see that this has this in here. This is not accurate information. I'm just saying. This is supposed to be one of those maps where you hover over it and it tells you how many people have it and how many people have died and blah, blah, blah. Not accurate information. Let's see. So, literally on Friday, we're getting up there with Washington very, very quickly. Now they're reporting 6 deaths. Now, this is funny. This is what I'm talking about as far as misinformation in anything is concerned. This is what I'm talking about. I just watched Cuomo's press conference that he had this afternoon, so about 5-6 hours ago. He had a press conference, and I watched it live because I always want to hear what the snake has to say so I can laugh at him. He said there were 3 deaths. This is reported 6. Now, on Friday, we were at 300 cases. Now we're up to 729. In 2 days. This isn't accurate. It's not. This is a joke. If this is real, if these people have this, if this is even a thing, this isn't real. There's so many more. There's so many more. Dude, there's people who are in quarantine, who are in mandatory quarantine, and they're getting out of mandatory quarantine, and they're just like, I'm getting on a bus, or I'm getting on a plane, or I'm getting here, and I'm gone. Like, I ain't going in quarantine. Quarantine. Yeah. I self-quarantined myself when I started getting sick. Because it's not about me. It's not about my kids. We'll be fine. What about the next person that I infect that goes home to their 80-year-old mother and gets her sick and she dies? I'm not going to have that on my shoulders. I don't care if I have it or not. I don't know if I have it, but I'm not going to take that chance. But you know, that's not a thing that people do. There's no common sense. Common sense has eluded this entire world at this point. Nobody has no common sense. They're out buying toilet paper. Massive amounts of toilet paper and baby wipes for a respiratory illness. I understand why you stock up on some stuff. You know, maybe have one extra pack of 8 rolls of toilet paper for a 14-day quarantine. But 50 things, 24 rolls of toilet paper, you need that for a respiratory infection? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, I've rambled on way too much for you guys. I apologize. I don't feel good, and when I don't feel good, I get irritated because I'm a very active person, and I can't do the things that I want to do because I'm tired and sore. So I'm just frustrated, and this is frustrating to me. This whole thing is frustrating to me. I'm still trying to make up my mind. Do I think it's real? Do I not think it's real? It doesn't matter, honestly. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you think it's real, if you don't think it's real, if you think it's a hoax, if you think it was created, intentionally set up. None of that matters. What matters is we're living in it, regardless of whether we think it's real or not. We're living in it. We have to deal with it. We have to put up with all the bullshit that we have to put up with from it, regardless of whether we think it's something that's affecting people or not. So we'll see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out, but no, it's the bigger picture that we need to be paying attention to. But all these little teeny tiny things all have to do with the bigger picture, so it's important that we're checking up on this fake news crap. All right, guys, stay safe, stay woke, stay vigilant, stay prepped, and I will catch you on the flip side.